This is as dire as it gets. Arsenal, on the other hand, different story as Kane ghosts another big game. Mbappe is in World Cup season mode, and the Gunners have spawned Wanyeri 2.0 alongside a 13-year-old pro before GTA 6. This is DMAC Daily. 9 losses in 12 games. The Reds' worst run of form in 72 years. Yes, the same team that made light work of the Premier League last season and then dropped close to £500 million to strengthen their squad are now in this situation. It defies all logic. And okay, I can understand that maybe some of the signings weren't necessarily suited to the club's profile or Slot's philosophy. Like they didn't play with a 10 last season or a wingback. Then they signed Vets and Frimpong. They also signed Ekitike, which made sense, but then they signed Isak too. There were questions to be asked of their approach, but no one could have predicted this sort of catastrophe. I thought Forest battering them at home was bad enough, but then PSV bagging 4 at Anfield. Yeah, put the fries in the bag, Arne Slot. Your days are almost certainly numbered at this point. It's crazy how this man's reputation has fallen off a cliff. He was the second coming of Klopp last season. Now he's the second coming of Ten Hag. Just another bald Dutch fraud. I've been so critical of Amorim for his lack of tactical innovation this past year, but we're witnessing similar levels of naivete under Slot. This 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1 system has completely come undone. It's flat out not working, kind of like Ange Ball with Spurs in his second season. Yet Slot remains adamant on setting up this way. In only one game out of 20 this season, he's actually changed their shape, lining up in a 4-4-2, and they just so happened to thump Eintracht Frankfurt 5-1 that day. It's really their only dominant win of the entire season. Ever since, he's just referred back to the same old inefficient tactics. Where's the self-reflection? And we can highlight individual underperformers, but when it's literally every single player that is playing below their usual standards, then the responsibility has to lie firmly on the manager. Stevie G, whilst in the studio, was unwilling to call it a crisis, but come on, this is their worst run of form in well beyond his own lifetime. Just quietly, I can actually see Gerrard landing an interim role when Slot eventually gets sacked. But yeah, all that to say, the Reds aren't doing too flash. Just quickly on PSV though, fair play to these guys. Just like they did against Napoli a month ago, they absolutely popped off in that second half. I thought they were doomed following matchday 1's humiliation to UCL newcomers Union, but now they're just 2 points shy of the top 8. Staying in England, and Arsenal have delivered a fresh statement result, dominating the previously unbeaten Bayern Munich. The German Giants had averaged 3.6 goals per game coming into this match, yet Arsenal limited them to just 2 shots on target. The Gunners are simply too good right now. The best team in world football. I mean, they're top of the UCL ladder, top of the Premier League, and there just seems to be an inevitability about this team. You're guaranteed set-piece prowess, Declan Rice running the show, bench players causing all sorts, and goals spread out amongst the entire squad. It's the sheer depth that's most impressive to me. Missing their 3 striker options, no problem. Missing Gabriel at centre back, so be it. Look at their alternatives. The Arsenal of old crumbled when the injuries to key personnel piled up. Now they merely adapt. Keep in mind, it is still November, so nothing is guaranteed this early into the season, and Arsenal do have a unique track record of crumbling, but it does feel a little different this season. For Bayern, there's both positives and negatives to take out of this encounter. The positives, you have a special wunderkind within your ranks in Lennart Karl, 17 years old and Bayern's standout performer against elite opposition. Musiala's injury was horrific, but in the process, it has probably given Karl excess first-team opportunities, of which he has fully taken. Similar to Estevao, he's developing on a weekly basis, undeniably the best U17 prospect in the world right now, and that goal today was ruthless. The negatives for Bayern, they were physically outmatched today, and Harry Kane was nowhere to be seen. For all the brilliance he has shown this season and throughout his entire career, there's still question marks to be had over his impact in the biggest games. He's like the opposite of Didier Drogba, far more prolific than the Ivorian, but lacking that all-important clutch gene. Moving to Greece, and it was the Kylian Mbappe show, scoring all 4 goals for Madrid as they narrowly prevailed 4-3. The Frenchman bagged the second fastest hat-trick in UCL history in the process, but I was more impressed with the fact that this man scored an actual header. Bro is locked in right now, top scorer in the UCL, top scorer in La Liga, and becoming just the second Madrid player to ever score 4 goals in a single game. I swear this man just taps into a different kind of motivation during World Cup seasons. Vinny Jr. also cooked today, toying with the opposition fullback, providing 2 assists to now go level with CR7 and Benzema as the club's top assist provider in UCL history. He's receiving love from Mbappe on Insta. Alonso couldn't help himself though, subbing him out late on, but there was no bad blood at full time between the pair, which is a positive sign for Madrid fans. In fairness to Alonso, his Madrid side were holding on for dear life at the end. Bar Trent's long ball clinic, that back 4 of Madrid today was so shaky at times. Tchouaméni once again having to fill in at centre back late on alongside Carreras, who I much prefer as a left back to be honest. Gotta give credit to Olympiacos though, they didn't sit back and park the bus. They took it to the Spanish Giants for 90 minutes and came very close to snatching a point. It was a similarly enthralling affair in Paris, PSG 5, Tottenham 3, just an insane match all round. Vitinha bagging a hat-trick, one of which was reminiscent of Iniesta's famous goal at Stamford Bridge back in the day, whilst Kolo Muani, the Tottenham loanee from PSG, bagged 3 involvements against his parent club. Where has that been all season? Defensively, Spurs were shambolic, but on a more positive note, Archie Gray and Bergvall put in admirable displays in central midfield. So much more dynamism in that duo than Bentancur and Paulinho's partnership. In other results overnight, Inter's flawless UCL record comes to an end as Jimenez's 93rd minute header secured all 3 points for Atletico. Atalanta scored 3 in the space of 5 minutes away at Eintracht Frankfurt. Veteran David Luiz becomes the second oldest goal scorer in UCL history, scoring a bullet header for Pafos in a 2-2 stalemate with Monaco. We also witnessed several future Chelsea gems deliver on match day 5. Giovanni Kenda with a goal and an assist as Sporting made light work of Club Brugge, while 17-year-old Dastan Sapayev scored his first ever UCL goal in Kairat's defeat away at Copenhagen. Staying on the topic of wonder kids, and Arsenal's young midfield talent Luis Munoz made history, becoming the UEFA Youth League's youngest ever player, aged 13 years, 343 days old. Born in December 2011 and already involved with England's U15 setup, Munoz has been playing well above his age group throughout the season and recently featured for the side that won the Premier League U16 national finals. But this is next level, playing 6 years above his age group at 13. It's crazy how aggressively this club is progressing its top prospects through age categories. Case in point, Arsenal now hold the record for both the Youth League's youngest player in Munoz and the Champions League with Max Daumann. Speaking of Daumann, he also happened to feature in this specific game, scoring a brace. The second goal was a thing of beauty as Arsenal prevailed 4-2 over Bayern's U19s, but it doesn't end there. Ethan Nwaneri, another academy sensation who famously became the Premier League's youngest ever player, well guess what? He has a younger brother also coming up in the academy in 15-year-old Emerson Nwaneri. With a name like that, he's destined for big things, surely. Emerson also made his debut in the UEFA Youth League overnight too. Crazy to think we've got Nwaneri 2.0 and 13-year-old pro footballers before GTA 6. The Hale End Academy is quickly becoming the gold standard throughout England. Arsenal are dominating at both senior and youth level now. Something needs to be done. Anyways, guys, that's all for today's DMAC Daily. Thanks so much for tuning in as always, and I'll see you tomorrow.